Good morning, Yankee fans. How is everybody today on a Thursday morning? Well, here in New York City and wherever you're watching along the globe, how's everything? I'm sure every Yankee fan today has got to be happy and giddy. It was a great win, another great performance by Max Fried, a bigger performance too by Bellinger and JC with the icing on the cake with the long fly ball to win the ball game. Well, the chat has already begun. I want to say good morning to everyone. You have I want to say hello, CT Cards, Jonathan, Real Bill, Ken is in the building. Wow, we're all here. We're coming here. I really appreciate it, guys. With your coffee and Yankee talk. I'm gonna start out. Well, first of all, please press that like button. Subscribe. Please tell people, your fellow Yankee fans, we are here, and a lot of wonderful things are going to be happening, and many surprises and more giveaways. So please, by all means, spread the word as much as you can. I really appreciate it. I hope you love our new neon Yankee sign in back of me. You have the official Yankee lamp with every year they won the World Series. There is an empty space for the next one, which we hope is going to be in 2028, and more to come on with that also. But I want to start out before anything, and people just getting up. I want to give the final scores in Major League Baseball last night. We'll quickly go through it. The Guardians beat the Nationals 8-6. The Astros beat the Brewers 9-1. The Cardinals beat the Pirates 5-0. The Giants beat the Cubs 3-1. The Mariners beat the Athletics 6-5. The Mets beat the Diamondbacks 7-1. Dodgers 10-1 over the Marlins. The Boston Red Sox beat the Texas Rangers 6-4. The Phillies shut out Tampa Bay 7-0. The Cincinnati Reds 4 and the Atlanta Braves 3. The Orioles, that are having all kinds of problems, they lost again to the Minnesota Twins 5-2. The Royals beat the White Sox 2-1. A final in 10, the Tigers beat the Rockies 8-6. And a real nail biter over in LA, where the Angels beat the Toronto Blue Jays 5-4. Very exciting game to the end. Today's games, obviously, of course, the Yankees are not playing, but you do have the Orioles Twins at 1 p.m. Eastern. Texas and the Red Sox at 1:35. You have the White Sox and the Royals. The Tigers later on in Colorado. Actually, that's a doubleheader today. The Phillies and the Rays, Cincinnati, Atlanta, Toronto, LA, and the Los Angeles Dodgers finally playing a different team. They are playing the Arizona Diamondbacks. That is your scoreboard. That is the future. We did get basically word that DJ LeMahieu is creeping his way back to the New York Yankee team. And if everything goes well, you could probably see him today in Scranton Wilkes-Barre, and take a look at the game. You may see him for the last time because he may be on that Yankee roster maybe as early as Friday. But I'm sure some news from the team, one way or the other, is going to come out today. I see waiting in the wings, we do have the main man of information, Jonathan. And Jonathan, big contributor to the show. How you doing, Jonathan? Good morning.
Good morning.
How's it going?
Good, good. I did watch the game yesterday that DJ LeMahieu. Well, It wasn't. It might have not been on yesterday, but the minor league game that was on. When was it on? Yes. Anyway, I
Okay,
watched it again yesterday.
great.
So
And
yeah, this,
we're seeing good things about DJ. DJ is running hard.
DJ is when I saw him bat, he looks like he's basically back to himself. He just has to get his timing right, of course.
Correct.
But
I mean,
he looks like he can be a solid. His defense is not a problem. His defense is actually ahead of his offense. But
yeah, no question about that, Jonathan. And I'm sure some news is we're gonna, even though the Yankees are off, Cashman's job is never done. I'm sure we some news will be coming out. Want to welcome Stephen B. Good morning. How you doing, Stephen? Thanks for joining us. How you doing? How did you enjoy yesterday's game? CT Cards mentioned in the chat before I went on yesterday. I believe his internet went off and he wasn't able to see a lot of the game, but he did know. Yeah, he goes, I lost my internet, called the service in the fourth or the fifth. So I had to rewatch the game earlier this AM. Well, what better way than finishing up and then coming to talk to us, CT? Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. So, Jonathan, I wanted to ask you, in your opinion, is Max Fried worth every penny they paid him?
yes.
No question about it, right?
I think Max Fried is. I think I mentioned Max Fried is the best free agent signing they had since Garrett Cole, and before that, I don't know.
No, you're right. Wow, how can they give him all that money? Well, now you could see why they gave him all. They're not worried about 5 years from now. They're worried about now, and this is where it's all at. Now, another thing, Jonathan, I think you had mentioned it yesterday before we went off the air. Jonathan Loizaga, better known as Mr. Lasagna, is getting that close to coming back, and that's exciting news for the bullpen.
Yes.
Because not Williams, but Weaver needs a break. He's pitching way too much.
Yes, I agree that. I think that's one reason why we've seen that one game where he was struggling because he has been over. Weaver has been overworked.
It was funny. In watching the game, taking some notes yesterday, the crowd went nuts with the Knicks winning, and then Michael Kay had quickly said, "Okay, so now we concentrate on the Yankees winning," and it happened correspondingly. And I thought that was cool. Hey, listen, it's great for New York. New York needs something to cheer about. It's about time. I mean, look, you got the Knicks 2 games up. You have the Yankees in first place, the Mets in first place. The New York Liberty be starting their season soon, defending their championship. So it's a fun time in the city, and also for WWE fans, a a couple of weeks are going to happen when SummerSlam comes to in the Meadowlands area. So there's a lot that's happening in New York, and it's about time. The city needs it. And let's take some away from, and I'm sorry for anybody that's in LA that's watching, but New York deserves some kudos now. And we're back on the map, guys. We are back on the map.
Well, if the Knicks can make it to the championship, that will be a great thing for New York. I mean, especially the Knicks haven't won since '73.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that if the Knicks were able to break out a win of a championship after 52 years,
Mm-hmm.
that would be talked about for the rest of the year.
Well, speaking about that, and by the way, everyone, we do touch on different topics. So feel free to ask your questions on a lot of things. Exactly, pertaining to your city or your team that you root for. We have no problem here on NY Yankee Mania to discuss it. But Jonathan, it brings me back. I'm sure you've seen clips. Again, I'm not the biggest Knicks fan, but the best team that I ever saw, and I was a young pup, but the 1969-1973 Knicks. Um, it's very, very hard to beat that starting five. Uh, how they only won those two championships, I think they could have had three or four. I really do. Willis Reed, unfortunately, the great center, was not never healthy. Even in that last game, 69-70, he was basically on one leg. He scored like 19 points in the first half or close or around there, and then Phil Jackson, who of course became a fantastic coach, took over, and they won it. But the two greatest teams I've ever seen in my life would be that and the LA Lakers, with the cast of characters of like Gail Goodrich and people like that, Jerry West and Will Chamberlain, and then so on. So those are the teams.
What about the Bulls with Michael Jordan when they won last?
Yeah, the Bulls, yes. But I put that, again, I would put that Knick team with Walt Frazier and Earl Monroe and DeBusschere, Bradley Reed. If they are healthy, I think it'll go up against. I don't care. They'll be, to me. That would be. I would love to put that in a computer and see what spits out in a 7-game series. Like I said, you're more the modern with the. You've seen a lot more live with Michael Jordan. I've seen them both, and I mean, I'm not taking anything away from the Jordan era, but I think the Knicks had a better all-around team, and that's coming from a non-Knick fan. So that just goes to prove that I stand by what I say, and I call a spade a spade. But getting back to the Yankees, a lot of good things. We could, a great day off. Getting ready to go out west and play the A's, the surprising A's, and what do you see from that series, Jonathan? You think the Yankees will have the upper hand? Do you think that the A's are going to give them everything they can handle? What do you see from that series?
Well, I think all of the games will be good pitching matchups. I mean, the game 3 hasn't been decided who the Yankees are. Sunday, the Yankees have not announced who they're starting on Sunday, but I think the A's. We have a former Yankee starting against the Yankees in J.P. Sears, and he's been off to quite a hot start this year. I mean,
right.
It makes me not want to have traded him. Of course, with Montas, I never wanted him anyway. So what can you do about it now? But I think all games will be good pitching matchups.
Okay. Game to watch today, obviously, is the Red Sox, the Texas Rangers. If it's not on the regular MLB, if you have MLB.TV, you'll be able to watch that game. None of the New York teams will be playing today. I want to give a shout out to Jason Castiglio. How you doing, sir? How's it going? As you came in, don't forget to press the likes. I really appreciate it. And you guys have been super. And I am so happy that we can come on in the morning with coffee and Yankee talk, and a little different perspective. We go over what happened the night before, and we talk about the future. So again with a day off. by the way, everyone, a footnote: Ken from The Ugly Truth will have a show today, a podcast at 10:15. So everybody, after you do what you're doing or whatever, or if you're at work, please put him on. He always gives some fantastic outlooks on the upcoming series and things that he saw from the night before. So shout out to subscribe to Ken. Let's give him a lot of love, and everybody else who's been contributing and being a great entertainment for Yankee Talk. So kudos to Ken. I hope he has a great show. And who knows? You never know who's going to pop up on New York Yankee Mania. Jonathan, wanted to ask you. So, who do you think? Now, I mean, obviously, to me, it's obvious. LeMahieu comes back. Who gets thrown off?
When LeMahieu gets back, I think it probably likely going to be Pablo Reyes.
Okay. Do you think they're going to stick with JC, or do you think they're going to give the kid Rodriguez a chance?
I think they're sticking with JC Rodriguez. I would love them to give him a chance, but right now, the Yankees are known to favor veterans, especially in Aaron Boone. So they're going to give JC every opportunity to be the backup, and Rodriguez will probably see in September.
Okay.
Unless there's an injury.
But do you? Well, I mean, obviously, as the bench gets stronger, you won't see as much as two lefty catchers, because then you'll have a rotation of, let's say,
that's another problem. If it will decide on what the Yankees want. If the Yankees want another righty bat, then we'll see Rodriguez.
Well, I think a key, Jonathan, is this. They're probably going to look at the upcoming series and check what pitching's available. And if they're going to be seeing a lot of right-handers, a lot of left-handers, or a mix, I think they might go in that respect. Because if you're going to see a lot of lefties, you're going to be hunched. You're going to, and let's say Wells is in a slump, and we're getting nothing out of JC, and they're both lefties. That's a decision they're going to have to make. And how many? I'm sure JC must have up and down in the minors. I'm sure they could bring him down like at least once or twice, from what I understand, being the fact that he was out of baseball so long. So that that's another key. And as far as Loizaga, who would you think is the number one guy to possibly be sent down? I mean,
they could do two options. I think one, it depends on what they do with De Los Santos, or two, they could put someone on the 60-day IL like Clayton Beeter.
Okay, yeah, I know. I'm noticing Beeter is with his pitching. He's been okay. His ERA is about like 4 something. He has a few strikeouts. He's been giving up runs. He does give up some solid hits, but obviously that's the growing pain of coming back from the injury. My sleeper here has got to be Scott Efros. I know a lot of people have written him off and calling it a joke now. He's never going to pitch for the Yankees again. But stranger things have happened. Stranger things have happened.
I haven't really looked into Scott Efros in a while.
Let me put a couple of the comments up on the screen. Let's see what we have. Stephen B. JC is not going to be sent down. Let the other catcher keep playing every day in AAA. Okay. I agree with you, but you don't want it coming to bite you in the where when you need a right-handed guy off the bench. And let's say your catcher is in a slump. You're keeping. I mean, I know Ben Rice, but then again, Ben Rice is another lefty. So you basically have your 3 catchers as lefty. I have never heard of that on one team. You'd have to really, really look at a lot of rosters to see that you have three left-handed catchers. So you need that right-handed beef, up there. So that's gonna be looked at, I'm sure. But there's like so many people, so many guys right now that may be returning, and it's gonna be. I wouldn't listen. I wouldn't want to be Aaron Boone or Cashman at this point because they have a lot of decisions to make, and they also have to say once and for all, what are we going to do about third base? Are we satisfied with what we're going to get on an everyday basis by the rotation? And I still say Oswaldo Peraza is on the bubble. I really believe that. I just can't. I just can't see. I can't see this guy on this roster.
Well, I think third base will, if they can, they're going to look for a third base at the trade deadline, assuming they have an option. And I have a feeling they're going to take care of it at the trade deadline.
Ken is saying DJ is the third baseman, but from what the Yankees are saying, Ken, he's going to be penciled in at second base until until Chaz comes back. They are saying it. Meredith Marakovitz just said it. So they are planning DJ for second base. So that third base is obviously going to be a rotation, either the hot hand, or I would feel safe with Cabrera playing third base. I like the kid Bebas. Don't get me wrong. I don't mind him starting. But obviously, if he's going to get a lot more playing time in AAA, let's do it. That's what you have AAA there for. The Yankees don't have a lot of guys that they can count on in AAA. I know Jonathan's man is Pereira, who's doing a nice job. As a matter of fact, I believe he won the game last night for the Scranton Wilkes-Barre team. So, yeah, so he would be he would definitely help out. Real Bill, that is a nice sign behind Joe. I can't decide which is better, the sign or the lamp. I need to see the lamp turned on to make a good decision. All right, I promise you on the next feed, I'll have the lamp on for you. Make me an offer, and no, I'm just kidding. It's not for sale. If you guys get me good, I'm going to start putting out my my pride and joy of Carlos Beltran's game hitting at bat at Yankee Stadium, which he got a double on, and I have that bat, which I got as a retirement gift from the surgeon that operated on Carlos Beltran. So just to let you know. But thank you. I appreciate it.
Ken brought up Caleb Durbin. Right now in the major leagues, in 58 at-bats, he's batting .224 with a .313 on-base percentage with 1 home run.
Yeah, but okay. And Ken, that's a great point. But did you really think that Williams would be this bad? I mean, at the time, everybody was praising that deal. I mean, there was not one person that I know of in the offseason that was saying, oh, my God, why did they get the guy that Pete Alonso hit a home run for? He's going to be a waste. No, everybody thought that was a great deal. But I do agree with you. I mean, but you got to give up something to get something, Ken. I mean, we all know that. And, they rolled the dice. Dubin was he was being structured to take over for Glaber. But then when they struck the deal with Jazz during the season, and they went with him. You can't, one of these guys, these young guys are going to come through. There's no question. And we can't keep them all. We just can't. Let's go with Real Bill. Ken, what do you think of the bunt last night? I almost had a heart attack. God forbid. We actually moved the runner to third base. I know. Can you imagine? Let's give a little clap for that, because I think that's the first time this year that they did that. Hey, John the Beagle. How you doing, big guy? How's it going? Salute to you too. Thanks for joining us for coffee, donuts, pancakes, waffles, and Yankee talk with me, with Jonathan, and there's always. Don't forget, folks. More people that are coming on now. Don't forget to tune in to Ken, the Ugly Truth, at 10:15. Subscribe. Let's get him to 100 subscribers as quick as possible. And he has some good content, and he also lets fans come on. So that's the thing with Ken. His knowledge is impeccable, going back years with the Yankees. And one thing we could tell you is we can tell you the ups and downs of this team. And believe me, right now we are trending a little up, and I want to keep it that way. I want to keep my rants to minimum. But Jonathan and I agree on a couple of things. And the one that I know we agree upon from last night, Jonathan, this music has to stop. This stuff with every batter that comes up, it's real annoying. And I don't know, I will do anything I can to see who the heck decided to pull that. It's got to be nerve-wracking to the broadcasters. Sometimes it's over them. You can't even hear them sometimes.
Yeah, I mentioned this to you yesterday.
Yeah.
I've been in the stadium right near sitting right near the speakers, and it takes away from the fan experience. You don't want to go to a baseball game where you just sit and hear the pounding behind you with the noise. You want to watch a baseball game.
Right.
I don't need loud music to know when to cheer for my team.
I mean, I would really, really love to. I wish, now this is one of the times I would love to hear Michael Kay say something about it, because he does when he says, "What kind of music is that?" Or he'll say something, but it's real annoying. You get to the point that you want to take the voice off. It's ridiculous. Well, which is beneficial for us, because they could come and see live feeds from NFE and and this show, and with me on it, with Jonathan, who's ever on it, and it's annoying. And again, it's got to stop. That is ridiculous. And I'll be honest with you.
I've been to at least 5 or 6 different ballparks, and nobody does it. The Dodgers don't do it. The Giants don't do it. The Phillies don't do it. The Mets don't do it. And the Orioles don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, that. And honestly, everyone, I have been trying to get Paul Cartier on, actually, to discuss being the Yankee organist for the past like 25, 30 years, after Eddie Layton. And he's a wonderful organist. And I would love to pose this question to him. Tell us why. Why is this happening at the game, that you feel like you're not at a ball game, you're in an amusement park, or a little kiddie thing? It's just not normal. The broadcast has gone downhill. And then Michael Kay always says, "Hey, we have the greatest booth, not the Mets or whatever. Here in New York, it's a little power play." You can't hear them because there's always something. So that's got to change. That really has to change. I hope the fans start complaining, and by right. The Yankees are on up. I can understand that. Let's go Yankee chants, and they do like an Italian thing, and for Volpe, and that I can understand. But every pitch, too much. When things are too much, it's too much. The Yankee brass, somehow, if you listen, or somebody here knows somebody from the Yankee brass and mentions to them, please, we want to know why.
And there are people that go to the Yankee game just to socialize and not watch the games. I went to the game with NYYU, and nobody there. Probably half the people there were standing in the hallway talking with each other, ignoring the game. I went to my seat, and nobody was at the seat.
Right. Ken brings up the point of um, that is a Hispanic culture. If you have seen a game down there in DR, Mexico, and the game is a block party, yeah. But we're talking about the iconic Yankee Stadium. I mean, and I'm not putting down any other venue, but Jesus, every pitch, every single
And
pitch.
also, a lot of those stadiums are not as uh, well built, as well built as Yankee Stadium, and the sound doesn't go out of the stadium. The sound stays in the stadium. So when you make a loud noise, it's overwhelming.
Yeah, and another thing, when the bleacher creatures do their thing, it's over that. I enjoy the bleacher creatures. I want to hear that. I don't want to hear blah, 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 blah. Who wants that? That's baby crap. I'm sorry, but you go to Yankee Stadium for professionalism. It's a cathedral over there. It's not an amusement park for 5-year-olds. I mean, let's get with it, guys. I really truly hope that somebody says something to the organization. I really true because when people like even in our chat say that they mute the game, that is pretty sad. A CT card says same here, Bill. I have my TV on mute and the closed caption on. Then I listen to the play by play on here. But that's and I understand that, and I applaud you for that. But that's not a way to see a game. You want to hear the fans. You want to get into it. You don't want to be. You don't want to be like it's so quiet. Like
And
somebody comes into the room and says, "Oh, by the way, you're watching a game. Where's the voice?"
You can already buy sushi in Yankee Stadium.
Yes. We start signing Japanese players, they will start with selling sushi. Well,
Sushi is already available.
I mean, listen, they have a 99 burger for Aaron Judge, but the thing that makes me laugh is they only make 99 of them. So if you go all the way to, and it's sold in right field stands on the side, if you go there and you got to be one of the 99. I'll be damned if I'm going to go running to Yankee Stadium to go wait online and then for them to tell me, "Oh, sorry, you're the 100th person. You don't get anything."
I have a feeling they probably sell more than 99.
No, it's 99, Jonathan.
Is it still 99?
No, yes.
That was last year. I don't know.
Yeah, no. CD. Hey, somebody agrees with me. Drives me nuts. Easier to hear a calm voice from a play-by-play and keep the game on mute. Sad but true. Well, it really benefits us. So maybe we should shut up because if they're going to keep doing that, then they're going to come on and they're going to go on NFE. They're going to go to 8th Avenue. They're going to come on here. And you know what? If I see it more, then God bless us. We'll do more.
Joe, here's the updated on 99 burger. It says the 99 burger was initially limited to 99 a game, but due to popular demand, it was increased to 199. In 2024, the limit was removed and now aim to sell 600 to 700 per game.
Okay, thank you.
So
there's the
they basically they have enough burgers to sell to anybody who wants one. I mean, if they can sell 700 burgers in a night because of Aaron Judge, I'm sure they'll be happy.
No, well, that cool. I'm just saying, like, enough's enough. But we want to go. You go to Yankee game. Okay, they do the YMCA. They do, with the crew. And they
Bad
stopped.
night, Joe.
Yeah, that's exciting. That's nice. And
And that's only one time during the seventh inning stretch, not throughout the whole game.
right, right. And you can count. I mean, and the music. I mean, some of the music is just whacked out. Whatever they play is just whacked out. So I want everybody, you know what? Like I said, maybe the podcasters, creators are saying, Joe, keep quiet now because people are coming to us. Well, you know what? If it continues, that's what's going to happen. People are going to say, screw that. And why we have to pay? Why do you have to pay cable? Just come on our show and you listen like we did in the old days. It's like a radio
Right.
broadcast.
There's still radio.
Right.
People have radio. If they still have radio.
Ken, who never mentions for words, I don't like most of the broadcasts today. That is why I started listening to play-by-play from other places, and it's true. And Ken, I agree with you 100%, no question about it. So again, hello in the chat, everyone. Thank you for
I still have my radio here.
Oh yeah.
So
God knows, God can only tell you how many of those I went through in my lifetime. If without exaggerating, I think those either I left them on the bus or the train or at the stadium, and smashed them because the Yankees did bad, whatever it was.
yeah.
I guarantee you, I went through literally 200 of them.
And this is from Radio Shack. You can't even get it anymore.
Wow. I remember that. Yes. Oh, I had one that I loved and I had for a long time. And then they came out with a small TV screen. It was 3 inches back in it was around 1969, 71. And wherever I went, because, Italian families, you're always eating in your aunt's house, your uncle's house, your cousin's house, your godmother's house. So not everybody had the game. So what does Joe do? He brings a pop-up TV. I plug it in and I have it on. So it went everywhere with me. So that's why I'm, I kind of called Mr. Yankee. Love it. It's in my blood. It's always been in my blood. And another, Ken is saying, let's see. If I was in charge of the Yankee media, I would have fired Michael Kay years ago.
Yeah.
What do you really think, Ken?
The one guy I miss a lot, I miss Bobby Mercer. I enjoyed listening to him, and I've met him.
I know.
I met him, and he was a very nice guy. I think I told you the story when I was in Tampa. I saw him walk by my car while I was waiting, and I rolled out my window and I yelled to him, "Hi!" And
he was very, very nice.
Bobby Mercer was he was a big loss for the Yankees.
And right there and then, they should put him in Monument Park.
Yeah, I still think number one should be Bobby Mercer's number, not Billy Martin.
100%. You, me, and Kay Mercer, we're all in agreement, and I am really looking forward. Hopefully this year, Old Timers Day, a meeting with her, and we would love to change something.
Are you going to Old Timers Day?
I'm definitely trying.
Yeah, I've only been there. I've only been to Old Timers Day one time in my life.
I've been to at least 5. I was there when they had that crazy announcement after they had fired Billy Martin, 78, Old Timers Day, when they were charging for the pennant. They put on the scoreboard Billy Martin to manage the Yankees in 1980. So you bypass 78 and 79, and he would come back in 1980. Actually, he came sooner because they fired Lemon because the Yankees were off to a terrible start.
The The biggest missed opportunity that I think that the Yankees had is they didn't give Elston Howard a chance to manage, and I think Elston Howard would have been a great manager.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
So
One thing, fans in the chat and listening, if you were a big Mickey Mantle fan, and I had mentioned this, my first game ever that my dad took me to was the Mickey Mantle retirement. I was a young pup, but I still remember it like it was yesterday, and I can tell you that it's on YouTube, the whole thing, and you'll see you see all the wonderful stars that obviously were alive and well, and it was a doubleheader against the White Sox, and let me tell you, it was the greatest thrill. Imagine your first game, the Mickey Mantle's retirement. It was totally awesome. So that's on, and some Yankee games from the old Yankee Stadium in the early '70s with Bobby Mercer are on YouTube. So if you go on there and you enjoy and you want to learn about back content, I would strongly suggest it. And you could see you could see All-Star games even at Shea Stadium, where you see, I mean, the who's who in baseball, Willie Mays and DiMaggio and I mean it was the who of baseball. It was amazing. So and you see actually Mickey, Joe D, Duke Snyder all coming out at the same time. You know, we only wish we had that now. But again, that's what you have the iCops for. That's what you have YouTube. That's what it's there for. Sean Browning saying Elston Howard would have been an excellent manager. 100%. Great first base coach. Great manner. Remember, I don't know if you remember the fight between Martin and Jackson.
yes,
Who do you think was in the middle breaking them up?
it was
Elston
Elston
Howard.
Howard.
And in the like on the side, I don't know too many people knew he was a great star with the Houston Astros, Jimmy Wynn. He was the other guy trying to break him up. Matter of fact, Jimmy Wynn had 2 hits for the Yankees and 24 at bats. He hit a homer, but then he was designated for assignment. We never heard from him again. So these are all the great things. Yeah, Stephen B mentions my boy Phil Rizzuto. I was at his retirement the day that they gave him a cow and he fell on his keister on the floor.
Rizzuto was known for giving good speeches.
Oh, speeches. What about some of the play-by-plays?
I remember that, but his Hall of Fame speech was probably one you should never forget.
Yes.
Especially with the flies.
Oh, he did on radio. He did one with, and here comes the pitch, and it's hit deep to left field. This was in the Kingdom. Hit deep to left field. It looks like it's going. Oh no! It hit the speaker. Mickey Klutz. He hit the speaker, and man, we were like, "You got to be kidding me! You got to be." This was like the first couple of years that the Kingdom was there.
Yeah, Mickey. I know Mickey hated playing in domes.
Another classic is he's reporting, and then there's thunderstorms. He goes, "Well, Frank, I'm out of here. Goodbye." Well, you heard that, folks. He's on his way to the highway. That's not me. That's Phil. I mean, he did things on the air that were just incredibly funny. And you never have a crew like that. I mean, I know the Mets have a good crew, but Frank Messer, Bill White, and Phil Rizzuto, it's very hard. Yeah. And in those days, they used to do 3 innings on TV, 3 innings on the radio, because it was always a rotating situation. So that was a lot of fun. Let's get a comment from Real. I say, let him fight. Action in my middle name, Real Bill Action. Okay, so I guess he's answering something from the past. Let's see. Martin probably had been drinking. Oh yeah, I'll be honest with you guys. when I was covering for a smaller outlet years ago, I actually saw Billy Martin sleeping at his desk. Where Billy Connors, I believe it was Billy, or it was one of them. I had to go wake him up, and and I heard him say, "Billy, the game's starting. Let's go." So I mean, this is what you were dealing with. The locker room. I mean, it was crazy. They had a manager by the name of Dallas Green, and Dallas Green won a championship with the Philadelphia Phillies. He came to the Yankees, and he would never take blame for anything. He would always blame the millionaires. Like Ricky Henderson was thrown out, or he didn't run something out. He says, "Oh, don't start the presser with me. Go talk to the millionaires in there. They're the ones that are making us look bad." Or whatever. He really came out. As a matter of fact, I have a clip of that somewhere in the tape, and I would love to put that on. And some of the stories, some of the what were like ridiculously funny. Sean Browning is going, yes, another good crew. Ken Singleton, Mercer, and Cott. The only thing is, everybody knew that Jim Cott really didn't like the Yankees, but because he was doing very well with getting paid from the Madison Square Garden Network, and then Yes, and WPIX and Channel 5. So, but everybody knew that he was and Ken Singleton, who was a definite Oreo, or not even a Met or a Montreal, because he's really from the Baltimore Orioles. He grew to really like the Yankees. He actually became, you could see in every year, every pitch, he actually became a Yankee fan. And that's very rare. No matter how long you're with the team, I'm sorry.
Another thing you have to remember, once you're employed by a team, whatever you think of the team in the past, they're now your employer. So you have to. Jim Cott, for example, he may have not liked the Yankees when he was a player, but I'm sure he liked when they paid him.
Oh yeah, well, Tim McCarver's another one. Tim McCarver was a Cardinal fan. No question about it. But he had an opportunity to come to the Yankee bench, to the Yankee announcing table, and of course he took it. But you have to be professional about it. I mean, he pretty much was. But don't worry, when Tim McCarver can give you a dig, he gave you a dig. He surely did. And it's the same for Gary Cohen. When he could give a Yankee a dig, he does. There's no question, but again, that's back and forth, whatever. They can do what they want. And it's our choice that we could just mute it and we don't have to hear what's going on.
When you're people who are announcing, you have to put your fandom, your professional. You have to separate the fan from the professional, from the employee, basically. One side you're an employee, one side you're a fan. Once you're at work, you have to be the employee, call the game, be professional.
Yes.
When you're at home with your kids and your friends, you can look at the game when you're not working and root for somebody else. And John Smoltz still has not gotten over 96 and 99. So he's going to. He's never going to let that go.
And now, Real Bill goes, announces are great actors. I can act like I love my mother-in-law on cue. Sheesh, my wife is listening. Real Bill, I better take that off because I do not want her to see that. But kudos to you. So again, everybody in the chat, thank you. I love the fact that you're talking to us, you're talking amongst each other, and it's so cool to see that everybody's a family here. And we're growing, and more fun things are going to be happening during this West Coast trip. I don't know the exact dates yet, but we will do play-by-play. So I hope that you will come in and give it a try, and we'll interact. And do some fun things during the stream. So we will let you know ahead of time. As far as any other broadcasts today, guys, if there is any substantial news or anything, we will come back on with a stream later on. If not, then we will be back tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. to start off a big weekend with in against the A's, and so one way or the other, you will if there is a tidbit going on during the day. Jonathan breaks anything to me or whatever, we will definitely bring that to you, and I really appreciate it. You'll know in plenty of time if we're going to be doing the play-by-play, and pretty soon we will have a show where you in the chat, a few more will be coming on. So I will be chatting with each and every one of you. And if you want to go on, don't be bashful. And also everybody that's listening, and I know there are more people listening to us right now that are bashful. They don't want to talk on the chat. By all means, just say hello. That's fine. If you want to chat after the show, send us questions, by all means. So with that in mind, what do you call Jonathan? You want to give some final thoughts? We're getting to close to an hour on the stream.
Yes. Well, today is an off day, so let's give the team a rest because they need a rest after yesterday.
Mhm.
Williams had a good day with I don't want to compare Williams to anybody else. I don't want to say that he's going to be a lights out every time, but I will, when he does something good, I will say he did a good job, and he just needs time to adjust. So I am very hopeful that for the rest of the season, now that April and is over, he's going to settle down like he has in the past. So I'm not expecting a 1.08 ERA, but I'm expecting a lot more saves and holds.
Okay. Okay. Any other final thoughts before I say goodbye and we move on?
Well, Will Warren is pitching tomorrow, so I'm hoping that he can. We've seen him basically be a Jekyll and Hyde on the mound. One day he can be an ace-like pitcher, and the next day he can be giving up 5 runs in the first inning. So I'm hoping he can find the way the pitch consistently to be more of that lights out starter. And I'm hoping for his success.
Well, and just to add to your point, uh, you got to be a big boy pitcher, a big time pitcher to pitch against teams like the San Diego Padres and the Los Angeles Dodgers. That's why it's so important that we have a Max Fried. Clark Smith passed the test this time. Let's hope he can do it again. I honestly, I don't have the confidence in Will Warren. I mean, if he
Well,
does, kudos. I'd love to.
I understand. Will Warren is a rookie. We have to
Right.
remember he's a rookie. Not all rookies are going to be lights out the first couple games. You have to give him a chance. Even Randy Johnson was terrible in his first outing, so much that Montreal traded him. If Montreal knew they had a Hall of Fame pitcher, do you think they would have traded him? Do you think they would have gotten rid of Vlad Guerrero? I
Well,
think
they
if
would
they
have, yeah, but Jonathan, you got to remember they couldn't afford it.
yeah.
Do you know just in the playoffs they drew, but it was pathetic. They were like the Oakland A's. They were getting 3,000 a game. Why do you think they left Montreal? You know, they left those places because there was no way for them to survive. And can you imagine? They would never survive today with the prices. You know what they would have to do? What they would have to try. Look at Tampa. Look at just Tampa being in George M. Steinbrenner Field. I'm sure they had to raise their prices because I mean, first of all, they don't even draw all that well, and knowing that they might get less than 10,000 a game, you have to figure everything had to go up. No question in my mind. But they're surviving. They put together a scrappy team, and you know what they do to the Yankees. I think Al should have charged them 30 million instead of 15. To be honest with you, because all they do is give us fits, and they have a great facility, which I'm sure they're going to miss next year. The Yankees have the greatest facility out of any team sport. And not even the Dallas Cowboys, who I know their facility. I've been there. I've seen it. It's great, but nobody beats what the Yankees give out.
Well, maybe because the Rays know what the Yankees are doing, they can build their own facility for their players to make them more comfortable and accommodating.
Right, but
especially when they're getting a brand new stadium.
Well, I think that's been squashed. I think they have to go back to the Trop. They might fix that up, but no, that's been squashed, Jonathan.
No, but more. they I think don't they want to move out of Tampa?
Well, that's a possibility, but as far as any other plan, no, they were squashed. So they're going to have to go. They have to go back to the Trop next year, unless because I'm sure the Yankees are not going to charge them 15 million.
No.
Go to 20.
This was probably a one-time deal.
Yeah, this was a courtesy deal. I mean, to say,
obviously the Yankees would welcome the extra money, but I'm sure the Rays would not.
Well, the Yankees could welcome another 15 million. They're going to save 15 million on some contracts. So, the Yankees have 50 million dollars to spend. But again, that's for next year. We don't even know what the final product of this team is until after the trade deadline. So there's still a lot of things going on. So with that, everyone, we are approaching 1 hour on the stream. Thank you so much for spending your morning coffee with us. Jonathan, I give you a big thank you for your great insight, breaking news all the time. Keep it coming. We appreciate it. Remember, as you're leaving the stream, don't forget there's Ken the Ugly Truth who'll be on at 10:15, doing his really nice podcast on the Yankees then and now, and he will give you the ugly truth about it. And looking forward to seeing you guys more than likely tomorrow morning for coffee, bagels, and Yankee talk, and then the pregame and the postgame. But you never know what happens today, folks. So stay tuned. That's why you need the notifications on. Press the like button. Definitely subscribe, and we will be there for you. I hope you enjoyed the games. Don't forget Scranton Wilkes-Barre today. You could take a look. Also, the Patriots, the AA Yankee team, and actually every low-level minor league you would be able to enjoy. So enjoy that. We will see you soon, and you guys have a great day. And as we always say, let's go Yankees. Take care, everyone. Enjoy a wonderful day. Stay safe, everyone.